Hello guys, so in today's session we're going to talk about Leetcode problem 207. So the problem statement states that there are a number of courses labeled from 0 to num courses minus 1, and there is an array which prerequisites that indicates the course that you must take first to finish another course. Return true if you can finish all the courses, otherwise return false. So let's look at example number one. So there are the courses we have are two, and to finish course one we should first finish course zero. Now that's possible, so we return true. Let's look at another example given to us. Again, same number of courses are equal to two. To finish course one, we need to finish course zero, and to finish course zero, we need to finish course one. Now that forms a cycle, and we cannot break out of it, so we return false. Now look at another example. Let's say we are given an array like this, and we are going to make another array in degree, which basically denotes the number of courses that we need to finish before taking a particular course. So for course 3 we need for course 3 to take course 3 we need to finish course 2 and 0. So in index 3 we got 2. To finish course 1 we need to finish course to finish course 4 we need to finish course 1. So we got a 1 here. For 5, 3 and 1, so we got a 2 here. Same for 6, 3 and 4, 2, and same for 7, 3 and 0, 2. Now we are going to take the BFS approach to solve this. So basically, first, which course we can take? The course which is independent, which don't require to finish another course. So in this case, those courses are 0, 1 and 2. So we first take that into our queue. Now pop out 0 from the queue and traverse the whole prerequisites array and find which course which like prerequisites 1 is equal to 0. So like which course is dependent on our particular course, and we decrement the count of that course. If it becomes equal to 0, we add it to our queue. It will become more clear once we go through the code. So let's even it will become more clear once we finish this whole example. So after popping out 0, the situation becomes like this. The codes that are dependent on 0 are 3 and 7. So we decrement index 3 by 1 and index 6 by 1. We do the same procedure for course 1. Now we pop course 1. Now we look at after decrementing the value, we look if the value it becomes equal to 0, we add it into our queue. But in this case, the value is not 0, it has become to 1 and 1. So we again pop out one course 1, and we see the courses which are dependent on 1 are 5 and 4. So let's decrement their values. And add it into our queue. Add it into our queue. Now we remove 2 from our queue. Now we again check which courses are dependent on course 2. Course 2. Only 3. So we decrement the value of 3 over here. a mistake over here. Okay. Let's see, 6 and 7. So it should be 0, 1 over here. Now it becomes 0, and we will add it into our queue. Now we pop out 4 from our queue. After popping out 4, the courses which are dependent on 4th are 6 only. So we decrement its value. It's not equal to 0. So we don't do anything about that. No, third one. Yes, we don't do anything about that. Now we pop out 3. Once we pop out 3, we look which courses are dependent on 3 now. So it is 5 and 6. We decrement their value. Now we add 6 to our queue. Now we pop out 6. Now we see again which course is dependent on 6. Okay, one mistake over here. 6 and 7 both were dependent on 3, so we decrement 7's value also, and we add it to our queue. Now we pop out 6. No course is dependent on 6. We again do the same procedure for 7. After we pop out 7, we say which course is dependent on 7. 5 was also dependent on 3. Mistake over here too. Now after we pop out 7, no course is dependent on 7. The last element of which is 5. So now the queue becomes empty, and int becomes no element in our int degree is not equal to 1 or not equal to 0. So we return true, otherwise we will return false. Or if the queue is empty after traversing this brick with this array, we will return false if it's empty. Let's go through the code. Once we go through the code, it will become all clear. First we will make an int degree array. We will traverse through the whole brick with this array. This will make our int degree array. Now we make a queue. We traverse through, not even traversing, we are just traversing through all the courses from beginning to last. Any course has an in degree value equal to 0, so that means no course is dependent on that course, and we can take that course initially. Now if queue is empty during this period of time, means every course is dependent on someone else, so we return false. Now we take the BFS approach. We take one course out from the queue. We traverse the whole prerequisites array. We check if any course is dependent on our current course. We decrement its in degree value, that particular course. Now after decrementing, if its in degree value becomes equal 0, that means now we can take that course, because that course is now dependent on no other course. Just add it to our queue. That's what we do basically in our BFS approach. This will do the trick, but now we need to again traverse our in degree array. Any value in our in degree array is not equal to 0, we return false. Otherwise, we return true. Equal to 0, we're going to offer q value of that. Okay, this must inside this one. Now we again check. Hopefully this time it works. Submit. So it works. So this is a standard problem for a BFS approach, and we also call it as a topological short.